Italian verbs are divided in three conjugations depending on their ending. They can end in are, first conjugation, in ere, second conjugation, and in ire, third conjugation. When I talk about the form ending in are, ere, ire, I'm talking about the infinitive form of the verb. For example, if I gave you abitare, I gave you the equivalent of to live. Not I live, you live. No, to live. Same thing with lavorare, to work. So in order to make the correct form for I, you, and then you will see for all the other subjects, you have to work with the infinitive form. How you do that? You take the infinitive form, in this case abitare, and you remove the last three letters, are, okay? And what you have here, you obtain the root, habit, lavor. See? These are the words, the infinitive form without are. This is called the root. And you work with that. In the case of io, you must remember to add at the end of the root an o. And in the case, okay, no, let's do this one too. Okay, let me change the color. So, no, io abito, io lavoro. Okay, you know that io is optional, so you can even say abito and lavoro. I live, I work. Now, let's see how we form the to form, the you singular form. So, you live and you work. We take the same exactly root. Let me write first to. And as you know, the subject pronoun is optional. I keep the same exactly root, but the ending is different this time. Abiti and lavori. So, you live to abiti. You work to lavori. Now, you understand why in Italian it's easy to omit the subject. Because in English you have only one form. You say, I live and you live. So to understand if it's not like I or you have to keep the subject I or you, because the form live is exactly the same for both. In Italian, as you can see, for I have O, and for you, I have I, or Italian E. So even if I remove the io and tu, I understand, because if I say abito, it can be just io. If I say abiti, it can be just tu. That's why we can easily remove the subject. And you do like this with all the regular verb ending in are. Don't worry about the irregular, you're going to learn them later. Now, there are two cases that you have to keep in mind. Let me make some space here. And let's take a verb ending in are, and like, for example, giocare, pagare, and then studiare. I'm taking these three verbs as models. So, all of them, as you can see, end in are. So, what you do to obtain that root, you do the same exactly thing. So, the root of giocare will be gioc, pagare will be pag, and studiare will be studi. Now, you don't have any problem with that io form. So if you remember what is the ending for the io form for I, is O. So if I want to say I play, because giocare means to play a game, if you want to say I play, it will be io gioco, one word. If you want to say I pay, because pagare means to pay, it will be io pago. If you want to say I study, because studiare means to study, io studio. Now, the problem is with the two forms. Now, let's see what happened with the two forms. If I say io gioco, you hear that the k, no, the C sound is hard. Gioco. Now, Italians keep the same sound of the C even in the two form. If I just simply had an I, because you know that the ending for the two form is an I, it will sound tu giochi, because C and I in Italian is C. You can go back to the pronunciation section to see that. So in order to keep the hard sound of the C, k, they had an H in between. So it will be tu giochi. So you have to remember, when you have a verb, yes, ending in are, but a verb that before are has a C, to add an H when you form the two form. So io gioco, but tu giochi, with an H in between. Same thing with verb pagare. So with a verb in are with a G in front. Because if you hear when I say pago, that G is g, go, g. Same thing. If I will just simply add an I, it will be pagi, but the R sound is necessary, so the only way to make to sound that G hard is adding an H in between the G and I. So it will be tu paghi. Okay? So every time you have a verb ending in gare, so are plus G in front, incare, so are plus a C in front of the ending, you add an H in the two form in between C and I, in between G and I. Okay, now let's see the last case. Make some space here. And the last case is the verb like studiare. What we have in front of studiare, in front of are here, we have an I. Okay, an I. And that creates some problem. First of all, let's go back and let's make the root. We remove are. Remember, just are, always are, and we have studi. Yes, this is the root. No problem with I. So io, what I do? Studi plus the O. Okay? The problem is with two, because if I just follow the rule, will be studi, that is the root, plus I. That is the ending for two. What is going to happen in this two form? I have two I, and they are unnecessary. So one I disappears. The one in the root, or it's up to you. In any case, you have to remember just to write just with one I. So io studio, tu studi. So when you write with an I, and when you say the word, you say with an I. You don't say tu studi, but you just say one I, tu studi. And you have to keep in mind that you use this rule with all the verbs ending in ia, re. So are with an I in front. Last thing about the present tense. You're learning here the present tense, and the present tense, the Italian present tense, is exactly the equivalent of the English present tense. So as you know, if I say io studio, it means I study. But it can also translate the emphatic present tense in English. So io studio, it can be also I do study. In Italian, you will say like io studio to put the emphasis that in English you do adding do. I do study. No, in Italian, simply you change the tone of your voice. It will be io studio, of course, okay? But also as the meaning of I am studying. So the present progressive. Io studio. I am studying. So the Italian present tense actually translates these three English forms. So if you say I talk, in English you say io parlo. And if you need to say I do talk in Italian, you say io parlo. I am talking, io parlo. Yes, in Italian we have a present progressive too, and you're gonna learn this later, but the English present progressive can be translated in Italian with the present tense. So don't worry, every time now you find a present progressive, translate with a simple present in Italian. So last example. Io mangio. Oh, tu mangi. See, same thing, only when I, because mangiare is the kind of verbs that has an I in front of are, so you don't say mangi, ma only one I, mangi. So let's go back to the present tense. Io mangio, I eat, I do eat, I am eating. Tu mangi, you eat, you do eat, you are eating.